there, thank you so much for joining me today. This is Julie DiMatteo from thepaperpixie.com and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And in today's video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this really awesome shadow box that perfectly holds one of the travel size lotions and shower gels from Bath & Body Works. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a 12 by 12 inch piece from the Year of Cheer Specialty Designer Series paper. And I've chosen this paper because it is a little bit heavier weight, and you really need something of heavier weight for these shadow boxes. So we're first going to go ahead and cut off a strip that's 2.5 inches. And then we're going to cut off 3 inches off of this strip so that this strip measures 9 inches by 2.5 inches. You can save this for another project. So we're going to put this to the side. This is going to be our little belly band. So now we're left with a piece that measures 9.5 by 12 inches, and this is the piece we need for the shadow box. So on this simply scored, on all 4 sides, we are going to make 4 score lines, and those measure 1/2 inch, 1 5/8, 2 1/8, and 3 1/4. So I'm going to make all 4 of those score lines on all 4 sides of the box. Now, along the 9.5 inch side, we're going to make 2 more score lines on both the top and the bottom, and that's going to be at 3 3/4 and 5 3/4, but we're only going to go down to the second score line. So 3 3/4 down to the second score line, 5 3/4 down to the second score line. And I'm going to repeat that on the opposite side. Now on the 12 inch side, we're also going to make 2 score lines, and this is going to be at 2 3/4 and 9 1/4, but down to the 4th score line. So 2 3/4 down to the 1, 2, 3, 4th score line, and 9 1/4 down to the 4th score line. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to repeat that on the opposite side. Now we can put away the simply scored, and next we're going to fold and burnish on all the score lines that go all the way across the paper, both the horizontal and the vertical. Ignore those shorter score lines that we made. Okay, now all the folding and burnishing is complete. Now I'm holding it on the back side because I think it'll be easier for you to see the score lines. So we're going to cut away some pieces, and here's the template here. I know it looks like we're cutting away a lot, but I just want to point out a few things. So top and bottom, we're keeping these long sections here. The sides, there's going to be a little bit of a diagonal cut we're going to make, and then we have some tabs here that we're going to create. So I'm just going to get started, and I'm going to start on one side, and then I'll fast forward through the other 3 sides. I'll leave this template out. So we're going to cut up this score line here. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4th score line in, and I'm going to cut all the way down to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th score line in. And I'm going to cut on the other side here, the 3rd score line in, down to that 5th score line. Then I'm going to cut here. And then across that score line that we did not burnish, and that's going to create a tab there. See that? Then that short score line that we made here, this short score line, I'm going to go ahead and cut to the end of that short score line. And then at the end of that score line to this corner where the horizontal line intersects, we're going to cut at a diagonal with our scissors. And that's going to help us form these little corners here that look like a picture frame. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat that on all 4 sides. Now we have all of those pieces cut away. And the last thing I'm going to do is just notch in to each of these 4 tabs, as well as notching on these little 1/2 inch sections, and that's just going to help the box go together nicely. Okay, now we're going to place some tear and tape adhesive along all of these 1/2 inch ends, as well as on all 4 tabs. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then on the back side, I'm going to run a tiny piece of tear and tape right along these little diagonals. And that's just going to help the shadow box lay flat right where that diagonal piece overlaps. Okay, and now it's time to start putting our shadow box together. We're going to do the 2 long sides first. So I'm going to remove the tear and tape, and I'm folding on this 1/2 inch side and folding on the 3rd score line in, and then just pressing flat. Because this is an equal number of sides, that's going to allow us to square that up just perfectly. Okay, we're going to do that again on the other side. Again, folding on this 1/2 inch piece, and then on the 3rd score line, and then pressing down. All right, so it's starting to come together. The sides are done. Next, I'm going to remove the tear and tape from all those little tabs. And then I'm going to adhere this edge right up to that score line there and just make that sharp shadow box corner there. And we'll repeat that on all 4 sides. Okay, then the last piece is to adhere down these inside pieces, but before we do that, we want to make sure that we remove the tear and tape from those diagonal edges. All right, so now that that's been removed, go ahead and take off the tear and tape. We'll do one side at a time. And we want to make sure that this edge is flush with this side of the box there. It should just fold right into place. Sometimes it's easier to kind of fold it up and make sure that that edge is up there right into the side, and then press it down. And I'm also trying to square up the box there as I press it down. Pressing these diagonal edges into place so that tear and tape sticks. There we go. There's one side. Now we'll repeat that on the other side. Again, taking off the tear and tape. Making sure that that edge is flush on the inside, and then pressing into place. Also trying to square up these corners here and pressing down. Oh, I love this shadow box. Perfectly sized to fit one of the Bath & Body Works travel size shower gels or lotions. Now let's go ahead and make our belly band. So if you remember, we have this piece that is 2.5 inches by 9 inches, and I'm just trying to kind of eyeball the center here. We're just going to hand wrap this around the box so that we have kind of a snug fit, but it's still easy to take on and off. So I'm just going to fold that right over my edge there. And I'm trying to keep it as tight as I can here as I do this. You can just kind of form those score lines slightly. Okay. Then what we're going to do is just take this off, and we'll fold and burnish right where we made those fold lines. All right, so the final thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to bring the seam up to the front here, because our snowflake is actually going to hide that seam there. Okay. Now I'm actually going to put tear and tape right along the edge of this side that makes it almost to the middle. I hope that makes sense. And place that into place. I'm trying to not make it too tight here. There we go. And that should slide on and off. Now maybe a little snug, but the more you slide it on and off, it'll break in a little bit. Oh, that's perfect actually, right there. So it's enough for the recipient to slide it on and off, but it's also not going to fall off. So now let's go ahead and do a little bit of stamping here. And I'm actually going to do some heat embossing. We're going to use the stamp set from Watercolor Christmas, Season of Cheer, and we're going to heat emboss that with silver embossing powder. I'm going to use my Versamark. Silver embossing powder. And then we're going to heat emboss it using the heat tool. Beautiful. Now we're going to go ahead and punch this out using the 1 3/4 inch circle punch, which is just a little bit smaller than the sentiment, but you're able to get that sentiment centered in there. Then I'm going to punch a 2-inch circle from our silver foil sheets. And then a 2 1/4 inch circle from our basic black. Now I'm going to adhere all 3 layers of these using our liquid multi-purpose glue. Then we're going to add a few rhinestones. And I'll pop 3 dimensionals on the back. And then I've got one of our silver foil snowflakes. I'm just going to do a little cross of fast fuse adhesive right there in the center. You don't need much. And we're going to go ahead and layer that in the center there. And then we'll pop our sentiment on in the center of that snowflake. And there we go, some beautiful gift packaging for the Bath & Body Works travel size lotions and shower gels. A great idea for gift giving this year. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel so you don't miss my next video tutorial. If you're interested in purchasing any of the products I used today, they'll be linked in the description. And I'll also include a link to my detailed blog post with all project details. I'd love to have you come visit me at thepaperpixie.com, where I post projects every weekday to inspire you, and there's options to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Please feel free to leave me any questions or comments, and I'll respond to you as quick as I can. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care. Bye.